see you again.
Speakers to please come to the stage. Please come to the stage. We'll be starting here reasonably soon. I don't know if you all saw it or not, but Senator Manchin delivered Lee Greenwood in Woody's slingshot backstage, so it was kind of cool. That was a new wrinkle. I don't think anybody's done that, but we did. I'll get with you in just a minute. Again, speakers, please come to the stage.
Okay, Greg. Folks, those of you all that are standing out here on the perimeter, if you all would like to take some of these chairs inside, back here in the back, please fill this in here if you would. And those that are sitting out there in the field, if you'd like to come on in, just going to help us with filling the space in. We on, Greg? All right, we're starting the streaming. My name is Parker Ward. We're streaming now, Brent. So Brent is the...
Excellent. Sure.
He founded the Woody Williams Foundation about 10 years ago.
Yeah, my brother and I and Woody started it on his 90th birthday.
Cool.
10 years ago today. So
and you've been on our committee for this memorial since we started. And Brent's drove up here from Louisville many times, and so it's been a fun project.
It's been awesome. We got a great team, and you can see here today how good that team is, because knocked it out of the park.
Yep. Okay.
They're right there.
Sure. Oh, okay.
Is that okay?
That's fine.
Sure.
That's fine. So we've got Lee Greenwood that you made arrangements for getting in here, and your friend Wes Stowers flew him in on his citation yesterday.
He sure did. Lee and Woody were good friends. Of course, Lee wrote a song that was sort of popular. It happened to be Woody's favorite song, "God Bless the USA," of course. And so he and Lee were close. And so as part of our ceremony today, I thought, wow, it'd be really cool to have Lee here. And so I sent him an email at breakfast, and I hadn't even gotten my food yet. He had called me and said I wouldn't miss it. So
we've got another friend of ours, Mark McVeigh, that's going to be doing the national anthem and a little song that he did from Les Miserables, "Bring Him Home," which
Absolutely.
was also one of Woody's favorites.
Another Woody favorite, absolutely. Yeah, Mark's an old friend of our family. We've known Mark McVeigh for 40 years, I suppose.
Yep, it's a big day in Huntington. I know, hey, Dan, we're streaming live, so this is a big day for you.
It is a big day. It's going to be a beautiful day, and what a happening. Unveiling the Gold Star Families Monument, which we've worked on for about 15 months, and a great committee, a lot of hard work. And you know what? When this ceremony is over this evening, it's kind of like letting the air out of the balloon. It's going to be a relaxing evening.
Yes, it will be, and I think you well deserved everything you've done. All right. I think we'll try to get the senator up here, since he's supposed to be up here on the stage. I see Lee Greenwood's trapped back there with the reporters.
Yeah, that's Pat Simon back there with him.
Okay. The two of them are up here. They're yeah. Yes. Mind if we break in here? We're live streaming, and we have Mayor Williams and Carol Miller. Glad you're here. Anything you have to say?
Well, this is all about Woody. This isn't about Carol Miller and Steve Williams, although we loved him and we enjoyed each other's company. This is all about Woody, and what a perfect day to honor him.
He's smiling right now. Yes, yeah. It's just amazing.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Steve. We have the two. Good morning. How are you, sir?
Oh. That guy couldn't play for the New York Yankees.
Got the colors coming in. Mark, we're live streaming, so why don't you say hello?
Hey, good morning. How's everybody? Across the state, across the nation,
Across the world.
across the world. What a wonderful, wonderful occasion. There's seats starting to fill up out here, Parker.
Yep. So
It's a beautiful, beautiful morning in Huntington, West Virginia.
So we got to break bread last night with Lee Greenwood, and
We did.
you and Grace had a nice talk with Lee.
We had a great time. Wonderful dinner over at Ralph Hagee's.
Yep, La Familia. They're sitting right out
La
here
Familia.
in the
It was
crowd.
a great evening.
So,
Great to get to talk with Lee and get to learn a little bit more about him, know more about him, and
So
it's a fine man.
I was telling Mark the story that when we were riding in from the airport with Lee, I wasn't quite sure if Lee knew about Mark, and I started to say, this guy, a friend of mine from Huntington, is going to do national anthem. He goes, "Oh, I know all about Mark." And I said, "You do?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "He did Jean Valjean and Les Mis." He goes, "Our son did that in high school drama class. They did Les Mis."
Yeah, a lot of high schools did it.
So I said, "Well, what's your son's name?" He said, "Parker."
And all of a sudden, everything started falling into place,
I
didn't
said,
it, Parker?
Should we stop and get some lotto tickets?
Yeah, indeed. Well, it's an honor to be here, and what a great pleasure it is to share the stage with Lee and all the dignitaries as well. But most of all, the Medal of Honor recipients, and get to spend and talk with them last night and have them share with us. And it's true what they say. They go away and hey,
Senator. Good to see you again. Good to
hi,
see you.
Senator. How are you?
Well, they're going to get you seated. Turn around here. We're live streaming. So okay. We've got Senator Joe Manchin that just got here on the stage. Take that mic.
I'm just so happy to be with my friend Lee Greenwood. Came in and just really to do it and do it right. Only Lee could do it for Woody at 100.
Yeah, at 100, this would be
At 100.
Woody's 100th birthday. So Lee, we're live streaming. So say hello to everybody.
Yeah, this is great. I said on the interview a moment right after the senator was talking that we may be almost heaven, but I think we're closer to heaven now than we've been in a long time with the passing of Woody Williams, who was such a war hero for us and a great West Virginia person. And look at this wonderful crowd.
It's unbelievable.
This is fabulous. Dedicating, of course, the monument today. Just so excited to be here.
It's a special day. It really is a
It
special
really
day
is.
for all West Virginia, but for all America, really, because Woody stood for everything that we are. We are a free country. We believe in helping people and everyone having an opportunity to have a quality of life, but also so many of these kids in the back that have no idea how they have this quality of life because of people like Woody that sacrificed. And Woody was the first to tell you how many people died supporting him to be able to do his job and duty on Iwo Jima. It's just unbelievable, the sacrifices.
So when Woody asked for this monument to take place, Kim Wolf and Dan Ferguson heard it straight from Woody. And
we all heard it from Woody. We all heard it.
Yeah, he had you on speed
Okay.
dial.
We
Ready? All right. We'll get to you a little bit after the show. All right.
Where do you want me to sit?
You're sitting. You're marked.
Parker, Secretary of State Mac Warner. Parker Ward. How you doing, Parker? Good to see you. Good to see you, brother. Great.
Good morning. Is it a beautiful day or what? We call this Woody weather. He takes care of business in his own way. He's made this a perfect day, and I want to welcome everybody. I'm glad you're here, and I hope you enjoy what we're getting ready to do today. At this time, presentation of colors. Please stand. I would like to introduce Bishop Samuel Moore for our invocation.
Let us pray. Kind and gracious Father in heaven, we are thankful to you for so many things, for how you have given us life and health and strength, for even this day that is brand new to us. We thank you for the occasion for which we've gathered here in this area to celebrate, to commemorate the lives of those who have made marvelous and wonderful sacrifices. John quoted Jesus as saying, "No greater love hath any man than this, but that a man lay down his life for his friends." So we celebrate today the awesome and wonderful sacrifice that has been made by those men and women who have, for some reason, felt a compulsion to be our friends. Now, it is our privilege and our honor that Abraham Lincoln said it's for us to be gathered here. We can't consecrate, we can't dedicate, we can't hollow this ground. But for those who have given their last full measure of devotion, we are thankful. Thank you for the visionary who has made this occasion possible. We love you, we appreciate you, and we thank you for all things good. In the name of Jesus Christ, I pray. Amen.
Thank you, sir. At this time, we're going to have a little action during the national anthem. We're going to have some skydivers are going to bring down an American flag and some smoke. And I have a gentleman over here to the right that's going to be saying a few words before we start the national anthem.
From the early days of flight to the first step on the moon, man has relied extensively on a small deceleration device known as the parachute. Created initially to save a pilot's life as he jumped from his disabled aircraft, parachuting has evolved through modern aviation technology to become the extreme sport of the 21st century. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sergeant First Class Todd Crawford from the West Virginia Army National Guard, and it is my proud honor to describe for you today a demonstration of precision freefall as performed by a member of your West Virginia Skydivers demonstration team. If you direct your attention high overhead, you will see our Cessna 182 aircraft inbound for today's performance. The jump master is actually looking out the right door of the aircraft. His head is outside in the wind and the cold. Through a series of hand and arm signals, he's relaying heading corrections to the pilot, positioning the airplane to a precise exit point for the jumper.
Coming this way.
See him, Lee?
Yeah. Okay, we're going to do the national anthem now.
The parachutes used by the West Virginia skydivers are flexible wing gliders with an inherent forward airspeed of 22 miles per hour.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present you J. Mark McVeigh to perform the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well, they're falling somewhere.
Thank you, sir, for your beautiful rendition of the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, if you direct your attention high overhead to your front, you will see the high-flying red, white, and blue of our nation's colors flown in by Mr. Philip Henry from the West Virginia Skydivers demonstration team. The West Virginia Skydivers are located at the Robert Newland Air Park, home of the Fly-In Cafe. Mr. Philip Henry is our safety and training advisor and has skydived over 4,000 times. He will circle high overhead for a few moments before landing nearby, gathering the flag and repacking his parachute for his next jump.
I swear. Next time I'm going to remove the top. They're going to land down there. On the other side of the monument, in the street. Yeah.
At 1,000 feet, the jumper does what is called a wind penetration check, checking his distance and speed across the ground. Then he will fly a downwind leg, a base leg 90 degrees to the landing area, and face into the wind for final approach. To turn right, the jumper pulls down on his right steering line. To turn left, the jumper simply pulls down on his left steering line. As the jumper reaches the ground, he will pull down on both steering lines simultaneously for the safest and softest possible landing. Only moments ago, this jumper was more than a mile overhead. Thanks in part to the advanced aerodynamic design of these Ram Air parachutes, the jumper is able to overcome the variability of the wind and land safely in such a small target area. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our skydiving demonstration for today. And on behalf of the West Virginia Skydivers demonstration team, the Robert Newland Air Park, and the Fly-In Cafe, I would like to thank each and every one of you for being such a warm and receptive airborne audience.
Thank you. Was that awesome? Pretty neat. I bet those kids really enjoyed that back there. They had the best view in the house. Thanks for being here. At this time, please stand again as we do the Pledge of Allegiance. And we can use this flag where we posted the colors. Please be seated. At this time, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to introduce you to the president of the Southside Alliance, Mr. Dan Gooding.
Thank you, Dan. Welcome, everyone, and a special welcome to the Gold Star families who are here with us today. This event really is all about you and remembering the sacrifices that you and the families everywhere have made. And I can't express what an honor it is for me to be representing the Southside Preservation and Enhancement Alliance, and to also mention the involvement of the Greater Huntington Parks and Recreation District and the wonderful Woody Williams Foundation, with which the Southside Alliance worked closely on this project. We were able to get this finished in time for Woody Williams' 100th birthday, and today is that day, and it's just so wonderful that it came together that way, and we're very, very pleased about that. And the weather is cooperating fully, and we have had the moon with us for some unusual reason right up until a moment ago, too. I do want to mention that the committee that worked on this project, which I had the privilege of appointing, was chaired by Dan Ferguson, who had been on our board of directors about 3 months. And Dan brought to us a request, special request from Woody to our organization. And he said, I know this is a little apart from, the work you've been doing, making sure the new bridges had a beautiful historic appearance and things of that nature. But he said, I believe this is something our organization could get after and do. And so we discussed it briefly. It was unanimously passed. And as luck would have it, the next night, the Park District was having their meeting. And, of course, we're in park property here. So Kim Wolf and Dan Ferguson and I went to that meeting. I introduced them. I told the board what had happened. And it took them a minute or so after Dan and Kim explained what the project was going to be for that to be unanimously passed to authorize us to proceed right here. This monument is on the exact spot that Woody wanted it, and we know that to be his very last request. So, it's just with great pleasure then that I have the honor to be up here and to celebrate this great event with all of you. I do want to mention the members on this monument committee, starting with our chair, Dan Ferguson, who I will have to say, if you want something done, get Dan on the job. And he has an amazing amount of energy and organizational skill, and I appreciate his work on this. Parker Ward was a great lieutenant on the project, too. Jim Rohr, who's vice president of the Southside Preservation Enhancement Alliance. Eliza Caldwell. Sarah Walling, who's our district city council member for this section of the city, was a member, has been a member, and Brent Casey, Woody's grandson, and Kim Wolf, Woody's dear friend. With that, I want to turn this program over to the moderator today, Dan Ferguson, Judge Ferguson, whom you've already met, but I welcome Dan back to the podium.
He took my notes. Shame on you. I'll know next time to tape them down. We do have a change in our program. It's a necessary change because the individual I'm getting ready to introduce has a reasonably important job, and he has to report to it reasonably soon. But you know, he made time to come here to Huntington, West Virginia, to help us dedicate this monument, and I think that says a lot about the man. But at this time, again, I'm changing the order here a little bit. I want to introduce you to Senator Joe Manchin.
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it very much. It's so good to be here. I can tell you, I know that Woody's looking down upon all of us and thanking you for celebrating his 100th birthday. When you start thinking about what Woody has done for all of us, it's the least that we could do, and to have this type of a crowd and have our friend Lee Greenwood here, it just makes it pretty special. So to all of those, Dan and your entire group who put this together, we give special thanks to the Gold Star families and the mothers that are here. It's because of you all and the sacrifices you've made that we continue to honor America and basically showing what the country is all about. We have, as I said, our friend Lee Greenwood with us. I can tell you a little story about Lee, and we became friends a few years back, and every time I'm with a gathering of senators, Republicans and Democrats, we always try to make it sure we have an even group. So what you're seeing on television is not what really we're doing. We're trying to bring people together all the time. But there's one thing that always brings us together. At the end of an evening, we have a dinner or whatever, we all get together and hug each other, and we sing God Bless the USA, Lee Greenwood. And Lee made that happen, and it happens every time we're together, and I can't thank him enough for that. To Kim Wolf, my dear friend Kim, he keeps calling saying, Joe, you got to get on the schedule. I said, Kim, I'll be there any way I can. So I flew in late last night, and I'm flying back out early this afternoon, and I was happy to be part of this. I'm here with my good friend, Congresswoman Carol Miller. It's so great working with her for the same goals that we have as West Virginians. Also, we have Huntington Mayor Steve Williams. Steve's done a great job for Huntington, and he's always in D.C. Touting the virtues of this great city of ours, Huntington, but also basically what we've done and how they've been able to do it to show the rest of the country it can be done if you work together. To Mac Warner, our Secretary of State's here, Kent Lehart, Agriculture Commissioner, to all of those, and to Woody's family. We've been together for so many things, but when you look at Tracy and Brent and Chad and all the others who've been everywhere that we have together, it's been a special time. To the Parks and Recreation, Southside Preservation Enhancement Alliance, all of you, thank you. I could sit here and all of us could talk forever about Woody. It's been 78 years since Woody quieted those enemy machine guns at Sands of Iwo Jima. Woody tells about the story, but the thing that really, Woody doesn't talk about himself. Any of you all been around and heard his stories. It's not about what he did. It's about what the sacrifices were made for him to be able to do his job. And that's what he was so proud about, is being able to be that American when other Americans were sacrificing their life for him, willing to sacrifice his lives. For all the students here, I see the young children in the back there, for all of you all, I want you to know the great country we have is because of the sacrifices of the person that we're here to honor today, Woody Williams. The sacrifice that everybody puts themselves in. When you see a person in uniform, you ought to stop and say thank you. If it's one of your family members, if it's a stranger, thank him. Because when a person has a uniform on and they're willing to put that uniform on, it's basically because they're willing to put themselves in harm's way for you to be safe, to protect you with their own life if they have to. That's pretty special. Only in this country do we have that type of sacrifice and national pride. And as you see the discourse that's going on around the world today, it scares you. When you see basically the discourse in America, the political discourse that goes on. Politics is supposed to basically identify a problem and bring us together to fix it. It's not supposed to create a problem to divide us. And that's what we're allowing happen. And only you all can bring that back. You have to demand more. And I said, quit. Quit rewarding politicians for bad behavior. It's not who we are. You know, we had a little thing about a dress code come up, and it wasn't so much about that. It was basically, we have 234 years of precedented law, 234 years, that we thought, I don't think we really need to write this down because it basically is who we are. And it was told to me the best this way. When you look at that beautiful, beautiful Capitol, the edifice of that Capitol, thinking that George Washington had to put his sign off on that. Now, he could have built anything, just an ordinary building and just an ordinary plain building. But he decided to build something so grand. And we were a poor country at that time. We were just getting our feet under us, or trying to. And he decided he's going to put something there that every American could be proud of. No matter where you lived, no matter how you lived your life, no matter what you were and what you wanted to be in life, he wanted to make sure that we had a national pride. So we thought at least we could have a little decorum and civility to show the respect we have for our founding fathers. We couldn't even do that, so we had to pass a law that basically says dress up, wear a tie, look decent, appreciate, basically respect the people you represent. So little things such as this is we feel very, very strong about. But let me tell you a little bit about Woody. Every veteran in the country, every veteran, I'm saying this, can thank Woody Williams for saving their local VA hospitals. Because VA medical centers were saved. They had something called the Air Commission, which would have turned 3 of our 4 veteran hospitals, 3 of our 4 in this state, it would have turned them in to urgent care centers. It's not who we are. Woody came and testified before our Senate committees. We brought him. I brought Woody every time I needed a heavy hand, and I'd bring Woody in, and Woody would just, they couldn't believe, here's this 90-year-old gentleman, rigid as could be, strong as could be, resolute as could be, and told them all about who we are and the veterans of sacrifice. We deserve to make sure when they come home that we continue to serve them as they served us. And that's what Woody said every day. One of my favorite quotes is one that he said when his great-grandson, Cedar, graduated from Marine boot camp. Here's what Woody was asked what it meant to be a Marine. He said, by taking the oath, you can take my life, but you cannot take my country or my freedom. You can take my country or my freedom. You can't do that. This is who Woody Williams was. He wasn't going to do anything to jeopardize the country that he fought for, the country that he was willing to die for. I never met anybody like him. When we said the Pledge of Allegiance, and you know, there's no pause when Woody talks. Remember how he would chastise you? We're not stopping. One nation under God. It's not one nation under God. It's one nation under God. All together. And he just jammed that into us every day. And I want to tell you one thing. He would embarrass you if you didn't say it right, too. So, only thing I can say that Lee and I rode in on Woody's slingshot. You saw us coming around and one slingshot. Woody, many years ago, he said, Joe, we got to do something for our Gold Star family. So we started having motorcycle rides, benefit rides, and raising money. We're going to do another one in a couple weeks. So anyone who rides a motorcycle, if you just want to be there, be present, come with us. We're going to have a great time. But it's going to be for a great cause because we're going to continue Woody's legacy of helping every Gold Star family that needs help, that basically can have the support because of Woody Williams, his idea of basically you are who you are because you was willing to sacrifice. We are the country like no other country, and I've said this so many times. There's not another country willing to take our place. There's other countries that want to be the superpower and take the military position. But it takes more than just superpower militarily to be a superpower in the world. It takes super compassion. It takes allies around the world that are willing to fight with us and die with us for the causes that we believe in, freedom and democracy. We have Ukraine fighting for their life right now. It's the only war that I've ever seen us be in my lifetime where we're in it for the right reason, a country that's fighting for freedoms and democracies. And that's who we are. The rest of the world looks for us as the leader of freedom and democracy. We are that superpower because of that. And they are willing to die and fight for the country the same as we were and our founding fathers 240 years ago. The least we can do is support them for that. But when Woody would talk about this, and he talks about the democracies they have and how we got them, I'm afraid that basically if we don't continue to talk to your children and grandchildren, they're not going to understand the national pride. We're not teaching civics in school. It's not mandatory anymore. We're not teaching how we became the country that we are and what you have to do to preserve that. We're not teaching financial literacy, how to handle your own finances. How in the world do they expect us to handle ours in Washington if they don't understand it either? These are the things that we have to start doing and get back to the basics. And I said this, West Virginians, and I'm so proud to be a West Virginian and be able to serve in so many different capacities, but also be able to brag about who we are and who you are. And I said this, they said, where are you from? And I said, oh, I'm from a beautiful little state. Maybe you've heard about us. God gave us the greatest venues in the world, but also on top of that, he gave us the greatest people. We have done all the heavy lifting that any state has ever done. We've mined the coal, made the steel, built the guns and ships. We have done everything we can, and on top of that, we have the most patriotic people. We have fought in more wars and shed more blood for the cause of freedom than any other state. If you don't believe that, go and look at the Vietnam Wall. There are more West Virginians per capita than any other state in the nation. We continue to give our all, and we always will. My little state is called West Virginia, and may God continue to bless her forever and ever. God bless you, Woody. We love you. We know you're looking down on us. God bless America. And I'm going to let a gentleman really tell you how to God bless the USA, okay? Thank you.
Okay, people, please stay seated. Please stay seated. He'll get help. We're going to take just a brief pause. Everybody please stay in your seats. We'll get started back here as soon as we get things taken care of. while we're taking this short break, I would like to let you in on a little surprise that we're going to have at the conclusion of the ceremony. We hope to be able to sing collectively to Woody, happy birthday. This is his 100th birthday. And we also want you to go to the white tent. We have cupcakes and a lot of different things for you to have. So please stay after the ceremony and get a cupcake. We got a bunch. And I don't want to take any home. If I finish them off, I don't know that I'd be able to fit in any of my clothes, and that would not be good. I think so. Yeah. Greg? Are we okay back there? Is he being taken care of? Okay. Shall we continue with the... Okay. Okay, let's continue. Everybody focused? Little excitement, I guess, but I hope the individual is okay. It looks like he's being well taken care of, and that's what's most important right now. Next on the program, I have myself bringing you up to date on why this beautiful monument is here. A year ago in May, during the Memorial Day celebration here at the park, Kim brought Woody down in the slingshot. I had a place for him to park over underneath that tree, and we all got together, the three of us. Woody sat with the Marine Corps League under their tent, and Kim and I were in the back standing. I saw Woody. He was kind of bent over a little bit, and I said to Kim, I said, man, I think he's falling asleep. Kim walked around and looked at him, and he came back smiling. He said, he's not sleeping, he's taking notes. So he already had started in his mind that he wanted a monument here, and didn't know it at the time. But anyhow, at the conclusion of that ceremony, we went 5 houses down where I live, and in my driveway, and he's sitting in the slingshot, and I'm standing there, and we're having a conversation. And he said, Dan, I think I would like to see a Gold Star Families monument down by the arch. Good idea. I said, Mr. Williams, how do you do that? He pointed up. He said, Dan, don't call me Mr. Williams. It makes me feel old. Hey, I was taught to respect your elders. But believe me, it was Woody from now on. Because as the senator said, he let you know when he wasn't happy with what you were doing. But after that, Kim and I worked together. A few days later, we got together, and I said, you know, we need to make this happen. It's his last request. At the time, we didn't know that, but he passed in June 28th, I believe. So this process started on June the 21st of 2022, and it's concluding today on October the 2nd, 2023. It was a major undertaking. We formed an 8-person committee, which Dan introduced the committee, and we went to work. They did all the work. I just kind of sat with my legal pad and drew where it's going to go and landscaping, things like that. But over the process, you wouldn't believe, all you had to do was mention Woody Williams' name. And if you were a company or if you had whatever, you opened up and you helped. I had an individual come up to me at the military picnic in June at Harris Park and hand me $2. He said, this is all I can really do. His name's on the list of $2. We would take anything. We even took things that we had to sell. So it was a giant effort by the committee, and the support was overwhelming by the community, and the results are here today. And I can't wait to get to where we pull that black tarp off that monument so you folks can see it. And by the way, after the ceremony, you'll be more than welcome to stay, hang out, have a cupcake. Please have a cupcake. And have your picture made by the monument. It's going to be a great day. Kim, do you have your mic?
Is it on?
Is it on?
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Thanks,
At this time, we're going to pay tribute to the horse tribute, which is over there. Kim Wolf is going to say a few words.
Many of you might wonder why we have horses here. Woody's from a small community in Marion County called Quiet Dale, where he was raised on a dairy farm. I think there's someone on the stand that knows where Quightdale is. Joe, you know where Quightdale is?
Joe has left the building.
Joe's left the building. At any rate, his love for horses goes many years back. And when he came to Huntington, Tracy's daughter said they had horses here. They started Roy Williams Farm in the 70s. And many, many years, we became friends with Woody about 40 years ago through horses. Down through the years, we wanted to start a mounted unit with the Huntington Police Department. With me today is the 4 founding riders of that unit: Captain Brunfield, Chief Mike Coffey, Chief Darren McNeil Rooster, and myself. Woody was instrumental in getting that unit started. At the time, the city said, you can have a unit, but we can't fund it. Woody said, we'll get it funded. So his love of horses down through the years. Last few years of his life, he would always, on a birthday, he would said, when I get 100, you're going to put me on a horse. Well, today he's 100. Brent Casey, his grandson, gave me a vial of Woody's ashes on a gold chain. Woody's on the horse today. But more than that, when you think about the thin veil from our life to heaven, someone said it's very thin. So if you concentrate, if you look up in that saddle, I think Woody is there. And this is the best seat in the house for Woody. So to our nation's hero and our friend Woody Williams, we salute you, our friend.
Thank you, Kim.
You.
I have a couple of special guests I'd like to introduce. Gentlemen, could you please come up? Come up, both sides. We have here 2 distinguished Medal of Honor recipients. I was told not to say winner. There you go. See, we got to do what they say. We have Specialist 5 James McLuhan. We have Colonel Donald Doc Ballard. Thank you, gentlemen. Wow. Okay, next on the agenda, we'll get some remarks from Woody's grandson, Brent Casey.
Distinguished guests, members of the community, and especially our Gold Star families. On behalf of Woody and the Woody Williams Foundation, good morning and welcome, and thank you for being here for this incredibly special dedication event, the dedication of the 131st Gold Star Families Memorial Monument. To Medal of Honor recipients Don Ballard and Jim McLuhan, a special thank you to both of you being here to represent and support Woody. You always did, you always have, and you always will. Thank you for that. It's nearly impossible for me to believe that 10 years ago on this day, Woody's 90th birthday, we launched the Woody Williams Foundation and dedicated the very first in the nation Gold Star Families Memorial Monument in Dunbar, West Virginia. What started as a mere suggestion to Woody in a conversation on one of the many, many trips we traveled together, my brother and Brian and I suggested that we start a nonprofit and do something to make a difference, do something to address a cause. Wow. Little did we know. No one can say it better than Woody did when he said, "The cause is greater than I." A mantra that Woody lived out so well and dedicated his life to, whether it was his neighbor, his fellow veteran, his family, his friends, and especially Gold Star families. Since our founding of the Woody Williams Foundation, Woody and the foundation established Gold Star Family Memorial Monuments in all 50 states as well as Guam. We simply could not be more proud as we continue to honor Woody's legacy and his incredible vision to recognize, honor, and serve the Gold Star families in every community. In the words of Woody Williams, this monument pays tribute and honors the families of those who sacrificed one or more of their loved ones in the armed forces of the United States for our freedom. As Woody Williams said most every time he spoke at a groundbreaking or a dedication such as this day is not about me. It's about them. We are here because of them, to recognize and honor them. We are here because of the Gold Star families in this community who gave more than any of us. Woody would often say, "I'd like to ask a question. May I ask that all of the Gold Star family members, any relationship, son, daughter, brother, sister, cousin, uncle, dad, mom, any relationship to someone who gave their life by serving in the armed services of this great country, any time in our history, will you please raise your hand?" Look around, folks. Give them a warm applause and thank you for your sacrifice. Woody would often say at a gathering such as this, "Thank you for being here. Your presence here, all of you, speaks louder than words. It says that you are Americans in the very truest sense, or else you wouldn't be here. You would be doing something else. But you are here. Your presence says to those who have lost a loved one that they are the true heroes of America. And it says by the erecting of this monument, this community is never going to forget. This community will never, ever forget." In closing, I'd like to take this opportunity to wish my grandfather Woody a happy 100th heavenly birthday. He is here with us in spirit and in ash upon that beautiful horse there, just as he wished for. There's no doubt in my mind he's riding a horse today in heaven and smiling down upon us all this morning. May God bless the USA, and may God bless each and every one of you. Thank you. I just have another short announcement I think will be of interest of everybody here. On Veterans Day, the West Virginia Public Broadcasting, the PBS network, will do a 1-hour documentary on the life of Woody Williams. So just make a note of that. I think if you're here, obviously, You love Woody Williams, and they've been working about 2 years on this documentary, PBS on Veterans Day. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Brent. We're going to have another little switch in the program, a brief switch. At this time, I would like to introduce Carol D. Miller, U.S. Congresswoman.
I'm sorry, I have to get back to votes, so he had to bump me up because I have a long drive ahead of me. I want to wish Woody the happiest birthday. What a perfect day for him on his 100th birthday to be able to celebrate this memorial that he wanted so badly. I want to say a very special thanks to Woody's family, because they shared him with us. We all loved Woody. Woody loved all of us. And for you school children out there in the heat and in the sun, it is so very, very important that you can share this with people who are older than you, because you will begin to understand he was proud to be an American. We are all proud to be Americans, but you're thinking back to your great-grandparents who served and gave their life, and Woody understood that. He understood the pride, and he understood the pain of the families when they got that telegram or that knock on the door telling them that their loved one had given their life for freedom and for our country. And so it's an honor for me to be able to share with you this wonderful day, because you all loved Woody like I loved Woody. I was lucky to be in Rotary with him for about 20 years out in Milton. So every Thursday I would see him, and he was always reading the newspaper when I'd get there, because he just loved his country and he wanted to know everything that was going on. He served with a selfless heart, and his one desire was to have the last Medal of Honor recipient of World War II to lie in state at the Capitol. I worked so hard on my end, but what I realized is they're called the four corners. You have to have all the leaders on both the House and the Senate. And so, of course, our senator stepped forward as well. And it was never his dream to be that one, but he was that one. And I can remember when all the people were there, and our senator who has left came with them, set everything up, and we had very strict decorum of what we were supposed to do with lying in state. And I'm a rule follower. Oh, our senior senator, not so much. And there was a point where the family was saying goodbye at the end of the number of hours he was there. And I was standing in the wings just to be able to share that moment. But then after that, things started to happen, and, he was moved on. And I'm standing in the wings, and Joe Manchin, our senator, said, "Carol, get out here." And I went, no, I can't, I'm not supposed to. He said, "Get out here." So I come out from the wings, and I just stand there very respectfully, just wanting to share that last little moment with him. And then we got to be with him as he left the Capitol. But his dedication, his commitment to our country lives on in every single person who is sitting here today. And again, you students, I hope you get to learn more and more about our history and why we are all so proud to be an American. God bless you all, and thank you for being here. Happy birthday, Woody.
Don't forget the cupcakes. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce to you the President of the Parks and Recreation, Rocco A. Morabita.
Thank you. Honored dignitaries, fellow Huntingtonians, families, guests, and friends, on behalf of the Greater Huntington Park and Recreation District, I welcome you to Memorial Park. I invite all of you to partake in the park, explore it, enjoy it, and see why we're so proud of this park system in our area. There's no better feeling than to share this pride and beauty with those who live here, work here, and visit here. Now, just so you'll know how special this area is, let me give you a brief bit of history about that arch behind you there. The 42-foot memorial arch was built by the Cabell County War Memorial Association in the 1920s. It was to honor and memorialize those who served our nation during World War I. There's a plaque at the bottom of the arch that bears the names of 91 men from our area who made the ultimate sacrifice. This is the only arch of its time, of its style in the state of West Virginia, and it was placed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1981. And here's a bit of trivia. There's a time capsule buried under that arch. It was buried in the year 2000, and it's scheduled to be reopened on Veterans Day 2050. So some of us, and especially you students out there, should be here for that ceremony when we unbury the time capsule. There's an inscription on the west side of that arch that says Fortis and Fidelis. It means strong and faithful. Woody Williams attended many and participated in many Memorial Day and Veterans Day ceremonies in this very park, as Dan had indicated. He loved and respected this place so much that one of his final wishes was to place the Gold Star Memorial Family Monument on this very ground. He felt that it was the most fitting location for families and relatives to honor those who gave of themselves to our nation. Today, we honor Woody's wishes. It is indeed an honor for the Park District to include this monument among our many parks, cemeteries, and memorials. Successful organizations are only as strong as their dedicated partners. I wish to recognize and thank Dan Ferguson, Dan Gooding, and the entire Southside Alliance for making Woody's dream a reality. The Park District looks forward to continued collaborations on future endeavors. I think they deserve another round of applause. So in closing, the inscriptions on these monuments should serve as an enduring legacy of sacrifice and act as a guide for our future, just as Woody Williams would have acted. Strong, faithful, honor, duty, service, patriotism. May God bless you all, and may God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you, Rocco, for those kind words. Now it's my pleasure to introduce you to Woody's daughter, Tracy Ross.
Good morning. This is such an exciting day for our family. As many of you already know, Dad was right here at this site last year as he sat here honoring veterans, which is what his life entailed, honoring veterans. He had an idea of having a Gold Star Family Monument here at this place to honor and remember the families of those who have given their lives for our freedom. Today is Dad's birthday. He was planning to ride a horse on his 100th birthday, but I know that he is thrilled to know that on his 100th birthday, we are here celebrating this beautiful monument. If you ever heard Dad when he was speaking at a monument groundbreaking or a dedication ceremony, you would have heard him say, "This is not about me. It is all about remembering and honoring the families of those who gave their lives for us." I don't know if any of you have ever watched a Gold Star child when they're at one of these monuments. We experienced something recently that I will never forget. a Gold Star mother was attending an event that was honoring Gold Star families at a horse show. The traveling monument was there. It is an exact replica of the real monument and is taken to different places so that Gold Star families can meet there and have places to come together. A mother was there with her 2 young children. They stood and they looked at the monument and chatted a bit. And then they walked up to a poster that was there with the monument that displayed pictures of the loved ones, families that were attending the event, their family members that they had lost. Their pictures were on that poster. That precious little boy told his mother, "I can't find Daddy's picture." She said, "Keep looking. Daddy's picture's there." Soon he found it, and he said this, "There he is. You know, they always take the champions first." There are so many champions who have left behind the people that love them. My dad's mission was to give those left behind a place to come where they could know that we, as Americans, will never forget. It gives those families a place to meet with others who share their pain and who understand their loss. I believe that there's a golden thread that connects the hearts of Gold Star family members, and the monuments give them a place to physically come together and to comfort one another. We have a huge task ahead of us. We need to pick up that torch that Dad left and carry it forward. There are lots of ways that we can do that. We can support his mission and the foundation with our time and our resources. We can share the mission with those who have never heard of Gold Star families. And you would be surprised how many people that I have talked to that have no idea what a Gold Star family is. We can let Gold Star family members know there are people who care, and let them know about the monuments and that is a special place that they can go. There's one more thing that we can do. We can say the names of those who have given their lives for us. Often, Gold Star family members share with us how important it is for people to say the names of their loved ones. It ensures that they are never forgotten. Say their name and never forget. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. Now it gives me a great deal of pleasure to introduce a close friend of mine and the fellow that has taken care of our city, Mayor Steve Williams.
We want to say thank you to the family of Woody Williams and the Woody Williams Foundation. By virtue of you sharing your dad with us, your grandfather, this city is better as a result of his presence. Also, we owe a debt of thanks very specifically to the Southside Alliance. They're officially called the Southside Preservation and Enhancement Alliance. They are preserving this space and enhancing it in such a way that it becomes not something that happened 100 years ago at the monument. It's bridging a gap of 100 years between that monument and this. Once again, Tracy, we never forget. pleased to have been able to be on the same stage with Senator Joe Manchin and Congresswoman Carol Miller. We have a favorite son that has come back today to help us, and we've already heard him sing the national anthem. Welcome back once again, Huntington favorite son, Mark McVeigh. And we have a new friend in Huntington. And all of us here are going to be able to say, we know him well. Mr. Lee Greenwood. Mr. Greenwood, welcome. And to the Gold Star families, welcome to this solemn ground of remembrance, honor, and solitude. Herschel Woodrow Woody Williams was a son of the hills of West Virginia. He was a proud son of Appalachia. Most importantly, as we all know, Woody was a proud American. And he would be quick to let us know, a Marine. Yes, clap for that, right? He was an American hero who never forgot that his long life was bought through the sacrifice of his fellow Marines at the Battle of Iwo Jima. Woody lived his long life holding on to the following principles: duty, service, honor, loyalty, and love. Every one of us, however brief or however long that we came to know him, these words were the example that he set for all of us as to how we should conduct our daily lives. Actually, I believe that he drew upon the wisdom of two documents. He would be quick to point out the Holy Bible and its scriptures, and also the Constitution of the United States. The preamble of the Constitution is etched into his demeanor. Think of Woody as you hear these words. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Do ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States of America. When you hear those words, how can you not picture Woody Williams? But he also had another verse that was found in the scriptures. In John chapter 13, verse 34. A new command I give you, love one another. In every step that we take, if we truly never forget, not those who passed in battle, but never forget our experience with Woody Williams, how could we not be influenced to conduct our lives on a daily basis, assuring that we demonstrate that we love one another? Woody lived his life honoring the lives of those with whom he served. we honor Herschel Woodrow Woody Wilson Williams. We honor Herschel Woodrow Woody Williams and every person who is honored with this Gold Star monument. Our Bishop Moore earlier in his prayer said simply this from John 15, verse 13. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down his life for one's friends. While there were those who laid their life down for the nearly 80 years of Woody's life and all that he was able to do, Woody's 99 years on this earth demonstrated to every one of us as an example that he lived his life for his fellow man. Because of the life of Woody Williams, we can say, we will never forget.
Thank you, Mayor. At this time, I would like for anybody here from the Gold Star family, please stand. At this time, I would like each one of you to please come up to this area, come across the sidewalk, receive a yellow rose, place it in front of the monument. If you care to do that, we would love for you to come forward. You can go on both sides of the monument if you need more room. That's not a problem. Okay, if you would like to lay your rose at the base of the monument, do so now. If you want to keep your rose, that's fine. We are at the point of an exciting time, not only for the committee, but I think for the citizens of the great state of West Virginia, Cabell County, Huntington. It is time to let you see this beautiful monument. Please unveil the monument. you can return to your seats after you lay the rose, if you would, please. Another round of applause for the Gold Star families. I would like to bring your attention to the Honor Guard on either side of the monument. We have the Huntington Police Department Honor Guard, the Huntington Fire Department Honor Guard, and the Marshall ROTC Honor Guard. And we have a great presence of state police, HPD, Cabell County, motor units. Everybody really needs to behave right now. Okay, at this time, we're going to have something good happen. I'd like to bring back to the mic Mark McVeigh. He's going to sing a beautiful song. It was, I believe, one of Woody's favorite, if not his favorite song.
The song's called Bring Him Home. It's a prayer sung in the middle of battle for the desire to have all of our heroes come home.
Really nice. Thank you, Mark. Now it's a pleasure to introduce a nice guy that actually we had here in Huntington. I had to remind him yesterday. I'm sure he remembered, but I brought him back up to it. But I got to say just a quick little note about him. The regatta, we all remember the regatta over Summerfest that happened every July. It was on a Tuesday, and we booked this artist to come to town to do the show that night. I'm in the trailer about 11 o'clock getting ready to get started for the day, and knock on my door. I open the door and I look out, and it's Lee Greenwood standing there in a t-shirt, shorts, and a basketball under his arm. He says, you Dan? Yeah. He says, anywhere we can shoot basketball? Yeah. I just happen to know where a rim is. So we got my golf cart. We went up Commerce Avenue right behind Fazoli's. There's always a rim up there. Kids used to play. And we played ball for maybe an hour or so. And people went by, walked by, drove by. Nobody knew who he was. That was a neat thing. It really was fun. I had to tell that quick story. I reminded him of that last night. But it gives me a great deal of pleasure to introduce Lee Greenwood.
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate that very much. It's a great honor to be back here in this wonderful state of West Virginia and here in Huntington. I was doing an interview just before we came on stage with Senator Manchin, who, by the way, is a very good friend. I'm so glad he was here. And such great responsibilities currently, as you know, in Washington, D.C., but took the time here to honor one of West Virginia's greatest heroes. And I was saying, you know, I'm reminded all the time about West Virginia being almost heaven. And I think today we're closer to heaven than we ever imagined we would be with the 100th birthday of your native son, Herschel Woody Williams. So it gives me great honor to be here. I really hate following Mark McVeigh, who is one of Broadway's brightest stars and great singers. Mark, it's an amazing job. Thank you. I actually have done 16 USO tours, and one of our tours was with the West Virginia National Guard. And for 2 weeks, they flew me all around Asia and middle of Europe. And I know the sacrifice of the military, not just in combat, but those who serve in the Guard and dedicate their lives with, and their families, well knowing that if they're in the Guard, they may be home for a while, but they're also inducted into the National Army or Air Force in order to commit their duty as they signed up for. A question, have you ever looked into the eyes of a Gold Star mother or father? I do it all the time. My shows are all across America, and we tour constantly, and many of our shows are about the military. I have a great heart for that. My dad joined the Navy right after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, and so we have a history of that. And here in the presence of 2 Medal of Honor recipients, both doctors, medical Dr. Corman, it gives me great honor and pleasure to be able to sing a simple song that I wrote in 1983 to honor America, not just our military, but all of our citizens. And Senator Manchin pointed it out, as our kids are here today, and I don't know what grade you are in, but from an adult's perspective, we're only one generation from losing our republic. You have to remember, freedom is not free. And in the words of Woody Williams' daughter, must never forget those who have sacrificed. And because of this beautiful monument here at the park, well done to the Alliance, it would be a reminder that Woody Williams stood for all of the rest, all of those people who have sacrificed so much for my freedom, my family's freedom, and for all of us. God bless him, and here is my song, God Bless the USA. If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again, just my children and my wife. thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit to Houston and New York to LA, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the our greatest hero is Woody Williams. Thank you.
Anybody want to sing? I doubt that. Not going to even try. At this time, we're going to perform the 21-gun salute by the Herschel Woody Williams Huntington Detachment 340 Marine Corps League. You may be seated. At this time, we're going to retire the colors. Retire the colors. That concludes our ceremony. I want to remind you of two things. Number one, get a cupcake. Please get a cupcake and a bottle of water over by the tent, and hang around, have a picture made, come and look at the back of the monument. It has an etching in this panel on this side of Huntington. It's dedicated to Huntington, and I think you'll really enjoy it. So mix and mill, this concludes our ceremony. Thank you for being here. It was an honor to be in front of you. Hold on 1 minute. Could we do a happy birthday real quick? Yes. Hey, you know, we're giving cupcakes out for a birthday. We need to sing happy birthday, and I think we have a couple people up here who know how to sing.
All right. Okay. You know the words? Do we have a key?
Let's start it low. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Woody. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, that concludes our ceremony. Cupcakes, water.